Apparently we're really into the jazz hands today.
Listen, it's clapping.
Well, that's right.
Silent applause.
Silent applause.
That's why I was like, I thought they were clapping.
Yeah. Well, so
This
it
is
does
clapping. This is
jazz hands.
You gotta go more out.
Well, and jazz hands are not quite so fluttery. They're like jazz.
That's true. Like more like.
Oh, that's right. Spirit fingers.
Oh, not even talking about spirit fingers.
No.
Are we not bringing up
Hit you in
the
the face when I
classic
jazzed? I'm sorry.
cheerleader movie? Bring it up. Come on. Anyway.
Okay, if we're gonna bring it on, we have to talk about Gabrielle Union, who can still play her same character at 40 something.
Who can Eliza Dushku?
Yeah.
Yeah, easily.
It's because she's a slayer, so that's fine. Anyway, we both had to bringing the truth down. So welcome back. We just spent some time outside taking care of biological needs and staring at beautiful astronomical objects.
Accurate.
So solid. Nerds, come hang out with us.
Where?
We'll talk. I know, shocking.
I'm leaving.
Our roommate's partner is a biologist, and I'll come in, we've had deep conversations about mycology and other stuff, right? And I'll walk into the room and he's talking about something along those lines, just called nerd, and he goes, "What?" I'm like. He's like, oh yeah, okay, calm down. So I'm like, buddy. Also, not a insult.
No, not at all.
It was 1990. Come on.
Also, it's like a way to say buddy for some of us.
Yeah,
like nerd.
What's up, nerd?
Yeah.
Nerd.
Yeah, so you're in good company. But if you're watching us, you're a big nerd. So hey, welcome.
Yeah.
If not, get on our nerd level. At any rate, so we're just going to jump right back into where we left off. So Castor and Sigourney Weaver are having
Penelope. Her name was Penelope.
so-
Wait, you guys didn't tell me why you're in Sigourney Weaver's body.
Yeah, we're not there yet. We don't know.
We
Yeah.
don't know.
So
if I may, just to kind of briefly catch Ashley up. So remember where we left off last time?
Yes.
Where we had just captured the mining suit, whatnot.
And shit started going bad, right?
Shit. Well, there was some weird pressure anomalies that seemed to be correcting themselves, but one of them was close to Penelope, and Penelope is was nowhere to be found. Comms 3 found you're in on the comms loop, right? So you've heard all this.
Yeah.
Comms 3 went to this location, took a few hours, but found Penelope's robotic finger in the data port where they were, with just the finger. And suddenly this is happening. You walked in just as it started happening. So Castor's on the way to join Comms 3 and runs into Sigourney Weaver in the hallway. Looks like Sigourney Weaver.
right.
The hair from 3, the muscles from 4. So
Oh,
it's fine.
hell yeah.
Right?
Get it.
Legit, yeah.
That is primo Sigourney.
Dual
Apex.
batons totally ready to just throw down.
Oh, hell yeah.
Apex
Fuck shit up.
Ripley. Yeah.
So
Apex
what did
Ripley.
you
Seriously,
say
she's half alien in that one.
when Penelope came around the corner and we both saw each other? What did you say?
I said, "Hey, Castor, what's going on?"
Oh, and I was like, Castor was like, "Who do you think that you are?"
I like that's your perspective too.
Who do you
Right?
think?
Who do you think you are?
I am Penelope.
And
I'm
Castor
Penelope.
Castor looks down and pokes a button and holds up their thing to you, and it shows you a selfie basically of you.
Yeah. So I mean, yes.
Castor's like, I didn't approve of re-sleeving.
Resources.
Literally,
I don't want to be in a meat suit
The
either.
last thing I remember is we were gonna pour into meat suits, and I ended up in this meat suit that Clotho, who is our gene weaver, has been designing, and because shit was going down, so I wanted to, have a little leg up. And
Okay. That all seems totally valid, except for we just found your finger in a data port down the hall.
Not to mention, you went on a whole excursion with Comms 3 and there was
Right.
robots and
Comms
shit.
3 just found that we
what? How?
we tethered a ship.
So time out for a moment.
Yeah.
You were saying this currently through Castor because you don't have a direct comms link to Sigourney. Ripley at the moment.
My bad. I thought you said I just walked in the room.
But as
No.
They
I
walk
think
in.
physically.
I got
Ashley
you. I understand
walked
now. I
into
thought you were
this
saying
room.
True Seeker just walked in and saw this happening. And
no,
I was like,
but
oh.
as that kind of sinks in for both of you,
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel? Do you does Castor believe that this is Penelope? It's not Penelope for Ripley to say. What do you think, Castor? Because the question is, Castor thinks. I mean, Castor can loop them into their private comms channel, but leaving it up to see whether Castor wants to do that or not.
Honestly, like in the moment, Castor still wants to hear more from this one. Like, it's very neutral in the sense that like Castor sort of has not seen anything yet or experienced anything yet, other than the disembodied finger and the lack of remembering that would make them distrust the situation. Like they're not trying to overcompensate, right? They're just like, this is happening.
And anybody else in on it? So I'm gonna say,
no.
This is just between you two right now. And definitely get in on that when the time comes.
And Penelope explains, like, look, the last time we were together, we had fixed that program. The pilot was calling us, so we went to the port so we could sleeve. My mesh inserts in this body aren't working quite well, so I only have this data pad. Like, am I missing time? What's going on?
Castor basically fills them in as quick as possible.
I'm gonna make you do this in character.
I also have a really good
because I can't remember exactly all of that.
Ask for help when you need, but I also want to see from Castor. Well, from Castor's perspective, basically from several sessions ago, like when we first re-sleeved in the bodies, right? When we were first figuring out, hey, the sun's doing something weird again, right? That is what Penelope is telling you. So this I'll give you a bum.
Okay.
At this point, you may, whether you include them in your private channel or you set up a separate private channel, you were like, hey, this might be easier for somebody who chronicles things. No? Fair enough. Then I'm going to make you do it on your own best you can. And
I'm not going to truth their truth.
Me that you know is actually looking for this person.
And I also do have a data pad, so you can shoot me data.
That's true.
Are you going to keep me in the loop? Or
yeah, we're gonna meta that a little bit.
I'm a little disconcerted because I'm used to accessing mesh just like from my person. I'm like,
listen, you are not the only one struggling with your meat suit right now, so I just need you to.
I mean, this meat suit is gorgeous and doesn't struggle, so I just need data.
Great, I've got.
Ripley, gorgeous and doesn't struggle. That's not true. Definitely struggle.
Oh. Okay, so basically, I just hand the new Penelope my data pad. I'm like, it's all here, and I've got have a conversation. Look at this. Like, you're going to be able to look at it faster than I can tell you.
Yeah. So you throw it to my pad.
Yeah.
So cool. I am still totally, in whatever way you want to. I know this is frustrating, maybe as a meta knowledge as a player, making you try to recap as much as possible.
No, it's not. I'm asking for the.
But I don't have anything to respond to because I literally wasn't here the last two.
Because also Connor, that's also the other piece of this. Is
okay.
Connor also wasn't here.
I don't have this info in my head.
No, that's fine. I think it, completely aside, it would have been good to let me know that this.
I didn't know this is how it was going to play out.
I didn't either.
That's fair.
I just knew that I was showing up in a new body.
But I'm trying to be honest too.
Yeah, and honest, and also on an honest level, if Castor is like, tell what you, i.e. Castor, remembers in this case to the best of your ability,
right?
And then I might do a meta shout out to anybody else, open the floor to who wants to try to explain to what's going on.
Oh, for sure. And I'm trying to get there. It's just the more that we reiterate and demand, it gets harder.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Penelope only asked for info once.
Yeah. No, I understand. So basically, Castor hands you the data pad and is like, cool, there's a lot.
Yeah.
And on the private channel, Castor, at the same time, Castor is like, where are you, Comms 3, and can you come to my location?
I send my location,
Great.
share my pin,
Great. Share my pin
and
too.
and then
Can I talk to Comms 3 too? Do you guys clearly have a loop? Did I hear you
No,
ask? Oh,
no.
damn it.
Like, this isn't the same. I'm just giving you that information and that directive. Whatever you do with it is your choice. And we'll interact with that.
It's like, Connor, you see like a little bit of like motion of the throat that you recognize as like subvocals.
Yeah.
And people like in terms of like it's but it's nothing audible.
I'd be able to read that real quick because I have really good kinesics. So.
But so basically, while you're looking at the data, Caster is like, okay, there's kind of a lot, and I'm not very good at leaving out detail, but I kind of don't have time to give you detail.
Can you give me the outline?
Yes.
Bullet
I mean,
points.
I'm just, we're just like gearing you up for it. So bullet points are that there was a sun gun.
What?
And it was gonna shoot us, but then it didn't. And then there was a ship, and we were trying to decide if we were going to save it, and we did, except for one. He was liquefied. I mean, they were all liquefied, but one stacked. Not. See, we're just roll with me.
Yeah,
You've got the data there.
I'll read this. Bullet points. Whoa, I designed that?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It wasn't, I mean, I was into that.
That was something that I only have been like thinking about. That really worked. Shit.
I flew a ship with another person. It was wild. Where were you? You were there. It was good. So
This is great.
And we looked into a lot of stuff about the gun and like these different weird shapes, and like the we were worried about picking up the ship, and like luckily the ship didn't blow apart. That's great, but we're still towing that thing.
We should probably reel it in.
Yeah, I mean, we're working on that. So here's the really up-to-date part is that basically you of all people went silent as soon as we reeled that ship in.
Shit.
And when not me, actually, I wasn't there, but Comms 3 came down to your location because they were able to get there faster than anyone. And it was just your fancy finger sticking out of a data port.
Shit, do you know how...
and then
that thing is really hard to replace.
Totes, we have it. They took it into their body. They're protecting it for you.
Yeah, but
I know.
It's a whole arm.
But like, I want to show you, and I show them the video of the like, I'm concerned about this. Like, you don't remember any of that?
No. And what's with this pressure flux? Like,
I don't know.
You were talking to somebody. Do you know where Comms is? Because we should probably...
Comms is on their way to us.
Cool.
And let me loop you into that. And like, I loop them into the chats.
Sweet. Oh, look, that part of my mesh works.
How does your identity show up on the chat room, shall we say?
Penelope's actual face is always her avatar.
So, okay, yeah, you all see Penelope has joined the chat room, or whatever version of that is, right?
Yeah.
And it's Penelope like,
Comms, you found my finger where nothing, the rest of it.
But you hear a different voice than you're used to for Penelope. You hear Sigourney Weaver's voice.
It's a little bit deeper, not quite as melodic.
Yeah. There you go.
Did you re-sleeve?
I only sleeved, as far as I know, I only sleeved this one time.
I'm glad you only remember this one.
Who was I hanging out with?
Well, clearly me, because that's me in the video.
I'm on my way.
No.
I forgot you're new.
No, we downloaded that from the data logs. Comms 3 was not there with you when it happened. Otherwise, we would know when it happened.
No, I get that.
Okay.
I can clearly tell that it's a camera, and I can tell it's the camera on the data port. But Comms 3 said we were hanging out. So was I with Comms? Comms, what? I know you can talk and run. You're a fucking.
When did you
info.
when did you re-sleeve?
As far as I know, 5 minutes ago.
Cool.
So at this point, I'm also gonna just for Connor's purposes, like open up the floor to anybody who wants to add any other any details over the last couple weeks, and I'll also pop in anything that I found to be particularly important. But by the way. like casters perspective, there's some things and they're gonna happen, but didn't happen, and then some other stuff, and then we got some things. And it was I'm sorry, I'll give you way more details later. But
Comms, what's the timestamp on what you say is my other sleeve? Well, was my other sleeve? When did that happen? How much time has passed between that first sleeve and now?
Approximately 4 hours from the last point of contact, at least.
From when we first sleep?
No,
into our
from
bodies?
when we've.
Oh, that first sleeving has happened?
Yeah, that first wake up.
At this point, approximately, sorry, I don't have the exact number on this right now. Approximately 5 days.
Okay.
So you're missing 5 days?
Subjective time in this reality view.
Yeah.
You were very aware. So yeah, from your perspective. So now I'll go back and do this for you. So from your perspective, you're hanging out in your version of the cottage.
Yeah.
And you're sort of actually in the common area that adjoins all of them, and there's a weird moment where I almost want to describe it like a bomb, a bombing alert, right? Like an air raid siren kind of thing.
Okay.
But it's not audible, right? It's just it's this feeling of okay, initiate this protocol, right? And so you leave your cottage, you go into that common area. You see behind you as you enter the common area, your cottage kind of dissolve, and the door disappears. And now, you have very much this awareness that the passageway into the cottage, that it would be the prime cottage, is yours. And it's this inherent knowledge that just tricks over, and you're suddenly aware of something has happened to the prime copy. I am now the prime copy. There's a piece that clicks over for you. So I'm gonna backtrack a little bit.
So does this click over before I sleeve into?
Yes. So this is you. You're still part of the hold. You're doing this thing.
Yeah.
As far as you know, from your perspective, Penelope left. You were aware of that.
Yeah.
Left the hold. And some time has passed for you, approximately, it feels like a day or so has passed for you. And then this happens, which is weird. Because there's some...
Because it's not supposed to happen that way.
Yeah. So okay. And then, so something's happened.
Yeah.
So the protocol kicks in where you literally... You there's sort of a transfer port that's basically this is a violent version of sleeving, but it's the backup is being called into the real from this location. So I would like you, to the best of your ability, guide us through Penelope's thought process on being a backup, being woken up with the knowledge that something happened to the prime and I don't know what happened. And your knowledge is what you were just sharing with everybody. What is those first few minutes, and why you are the way you are, and why you're equipped the way you are.
So there's no Penelope Prime.
You are now the Prime, right? You are the...
Well, no. So even within the three, there was never any Prime. It was all... all of that data was so enmeshed that there was...
All Penelope all the time.
It was all Penelope all the time. So, yes, there was a flip. Okay, so talking to comms. So, yeah, I left to go sleeve, but then I was still in the cottage for a day-ish. Which I meant to go with you all. And then I don't know, I slam ported into this body, but I was always supposed to go into this body because Clotho designed it, and she's fucking amazing Gene Weaver. And who wants yes, I like my body, but when you don't know what the fuck's going on, you go for enhancements. So, but we're still missing. I'm still missing 4 days of me. Like,
And your whole hand?
and my entire. Luckily, that data's backed up. But
Okay.
Should I continue looking for the other you?
Can I ask you a question, OOC?
yeah,
Does your new body have 2 arms, or do you have like a stump and you're waiting to get your mechanical
good
arm
question.
attached to it?
no, this one has 2 arms.
Okay.
This is a body that was so within the Weavers Guild. There
And you
are
can
all
weave a body
kinds,
with 1 arm.
all kinds of programmers,
You
and
This is Penelope describing this to anybody, but
Yeah.
I'm just making you do it in character.
And one of Penelope's closest friends is Clotho, who happens to be a gene weaver and does genetic programming, and has specifically been designing this as a combat body.
Mhm.
And Penelope's fairly smart and was like, yeah, most of the weavers are going to stay here. I have some better skills. I'll take the combat body for now.
So, did you slam into this new body as a defense mechanism because your other body is gone? Was that like a protocol you put in place for yourself?
You were aware that this is okay. This is something unique that you're going to describe, like why you're in this body, or have already described.
Yeah.
You were aware that like protocol is if you're in the real world,
Mhm.
and your like the physical copy, like if gets axed, a backup is called up.
No,
right?
I get that. I'm asking if she specifically went into the combat body because like that was something that she intentionally did if something
Yes,
happened.
this was Penelope was. This is the body that you should have seen first.
Was it like a defensive directive, I guess is what I'm
Yeah.
asking.
Well, no.
No.
Something glitched, and Penelope ended up in her actual body
Mhm.
when we first all met in Meet.
Oh.
And because this is the body that Penelope would have liked to have come out in.
Oh, okay.
This one wasn't ready.
So that's extra confusing for you because you're like, why is this body still here?
Yeah, so I'm a little confused. I was like, but I'm sure I can dig into data and look at timestamps and be like, oh, okay, this one wasn't quite done.
It's still not quite done, but it's better than what it was.
Yeah. I gave myself a wound.
Cool.
Yeah.
Perhaps
And
it's worthwhile to look for the arm.
that would be helpful, but again, I do have there's a data backup on the arm too. Yeah. Okay. Let's meet halfway. Can you just I'm assuming you recorded video the entire time you were hanging out with other Penelope? With me? The entire time you're hanging out with me in
Yeah,
my
I would
original body?
say that's the function of memory for
Yeah.
me is I'm just storing data.
It's at least sensory input, right?
Yeah. Can you send me visual only?
No
And-
audio.
No audio yet.
Well, it might take a while to send 4 days worth of data.
So parse it and give me bullet points.
I'll edit only images, only footage that contains you. Sending now.
Nice. Good way of putting it. So you have like some gaps filled in a little bit. So this is also my like just double checking, make sure like everybody remembers like what's going on, like what has happened in the last few sessions since Connor was here last. So we'll go through like you have real clear footage on we were fighting the maintenance robots, right?
Yeah.
And coming up and
You
like
slammed your head into something.
yeah, you jumped into a
Now
door.
you get to forget that.
I totally remember that.
Yeah, and now you do. It comes back to you because you've got clear footage of
Yeah.
Tom 3
and
watching
when
you
you were
slam your
not-
head into a door.
When you were not here, we
I-
kind of backburnered your character.
Yeah.
So I'm not like what Penelope did. A lot of that was behind the scenes anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
So-
kind of make up stuff too.
Sweet.
So I want you to hear like the broad strokes of like story-wise that happened. Maybe again you can fill in where Penelope was on things. But,
Yeah.
So what do y'all
Apparently
remember
designing
actually happened during that time, and I can fill in
nanofiber
gaps otherwise.
Well, we all were running from bots, and I was with Andine, and we were basically just waiting for the trajectory to come up, and we started to get more power back onto the ship, and so then we could like see things, and once we could see things, we could see the sun, and there was like this weird spot on the sun, and Andine and I blew it up, and it was like two
Not
like
the sun, but
not the sun, the image
Zoomed in.
and
Just to be clear, we're okay.
the sunspot was too like geometrically perfect to be like natural. And so we like looked at it closer, and we realized that it was something that had to have been like put there, like built by another person. And so like while Andine was doing all that stuff where he was like telling basically Charlie and Castor the direction to fly, I like Truth Seeker looked up the past from the old solar flare and like looked at images from the sun all the way back to the old solar flare and before, and the geometric shape was there when the other solar flare happened, and previous to it happening, Truth Seeker saw images of a dark shape plunging into the sun and moving kind of beneath its surface and like darkening as it went.
And didn't Endine also give us information about like seismic activity on the sun while that was happening?
Not that specifically, but as you were getting closer later.
Yeah, Oh, sorry. Wasn't it basically like we could tell something was close enough that it was like cooling the sun down, like it was like not as hot in that spot, and that was
it
like
was suppressing the convective currents of the sun, so
Yes,
that's why
mhm.
it
Those
was
words.
acting like a sunspot. So it
Yeah.
was looking dark, but
But
it was
it
like
wasn't
a sunspot
actu-
that was huge.
it was
Mhm.
massive. And then we saw
Besides
these
the
like
geometer.
7 points moving off of it and
Yeah.
like going around the sun, and we 8 points. Sorry, we saw 8
Hexagon,
points
that's
going
all.
off it,
Or,
moving around
octagon.
it. And then while Truth Seeker was collecting all this data, I started getting like messages that were like really like sporadic and all over the place. And when I finally started listening to them, it was from a mining colony that was on an asteroid belt we were gonna pass when we hooked around the sun.
Okay.
And they were all intangible bodies. And Truth Seeker basically like told everybody about them and was like, what do y'all want to fucking do about this? Because there's a whole group of people,
Verbatim. I want to be clear.
basically.
What do y'all want to fucking do?
What do y'all want to fucking do about this? This is what's up. And then we kind of came up with a plan with that. And anyway, that was like Truth Seeker's perspective on what happened.
Right.
So-
And Castor and Penelope were totally about to be out about that ship, but like everybody wanted to save them.
Penelope.
I didn't, to be fair.
You didn't want to save them.
I was like, it's whatever. I'm just telling you this exists.
So you wanted to save them, but Penelope didn't, or
No, we like it.
It's very utilitarian.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. It was very much like we were both like, but resources and time and like possible mistakes
Yeah.
and like.
So we did it in a
whatever.
way that wouldn't affect us negatively, theoretically.
Right. Well, and
except now I lost my original
right,
body.
but before you did that, you made some amazing weave to catch a whole nother spaceship.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I'm
weaved
a
a
fucking
spaceship
genius.
catcher.
This is my job.
And now we're
this is what
catching
I
it up to our
do.
speed so we can pull it into our port.
Hot.
Whoa, now.
I've
And what
noticed.
Castor meant was one person didn't have a stack. And so they all had to like
Yeah.
put their stacks in these like special containers so they wouldn't get fried, hopefully, or like fucked up. But like the
Why
one
didn't
person,
you just have them transmit? Like we're
They-
already over.
they don't have the
data.
capacity for it on their
Yeah,
station.
super low tech.
They were very low
mining.
tech, like an old
cheap.
mining operation.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do that.
Fuck, one of them didn't have a stack, Penelope.
Yeah,
Loser.
Not like,
yeah. He
they
liquefied
had
now.
Spiritual
They're
reasons.
all
Thank you.
liquefied now, and we're gonna end
Archaic
up
as fuck.
eating them.
In mushroom form, it's fine.
and yeah, it's
Um,
organic matter.
Okay, but we still have their stacks.
But we still, but
Yeah, and
we're
we'll
still
put
going to
them
use
in
organic matter.
Bodies.
Well, so
We're not gonna eat them in human form. They're
We'll
biomass.
put them in bodies and then eat them.
oh god.
You guys are so weird.
All I thought
I
of
love
was
the-
like
True
meat
Seeker,
suit
do you-
sleeve milkshake.
That was a joke.
Was it? Just kidding.
Was it though?
It's really nutritious.
I was finding the truth in their words and making a joke out of it.
Oh, you
Oh,
The
joke seeker.
Jokey is
Hey,
Joke
Tom's
is the
getting
way of lying. I just want to be clear.
Damn it, do I have to roll for that?
Yes.
I do
Yes,
have to
you
roll
do.
for
Roll
that.
for humor.
Roll for humor.
Can I roll to? I'm
I think it's roll
Wait,
to
what's happening?
provoke.
I don't know.
no. I
One.
Lost it.
well no because like we were talking about, and Penelope is really good at reading people and also lying and like really pushing more towards diplomats. Like so, like I like that's why I like to call bullshit on Truth Seeker.
Do it all you want.
I, for the record, love it. So
Yeah.
Will not change
Anyway.
the truth, Penelope.
yeah, I really, I kind of want a spin-off that is just the Adventures of Truth Seeker and Penelope.
And
That would
it's
be
Truth
one
Seeker-
episode, and Truth Seeker dies at the end of it.
Also, it would be nothing but Truth Seeker saying something and a pause and then a.
Yeah, the caption is just heavy breathing.
It would be.
Heavy sigh.
It would be like
That's not
a
how
space
that
road
works.
trip. That it would be two of you in the cockpit of like a space vehicle.
We get stuck on a rescue pod together.
That's terrible. I'm into this though.
Not how science works, Truth Seeker.
Yeah, so
Um,
this is the next drunken recap I want to see is between y'all and try
In
to remember
character?
what in character and Trappist Transfer. So real fast, other piece that I wanted to bring up. Let's see. So Castor and Charlie Maines had a really great moment, like navigating the ship, like because there was a solar flare that was fired off, and they and they managed to like navigate around it and like in the best way possible, barely, but did it very well.
Right.
Comms 3 found a way to increase the efficiency of the fusion drive by observing the magnetic field
And learned about death.
of the actual solar. Yeah, and there was a conversation of what is death, and that was an awkward conversation.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
left those parts out because I was just telling my perspective.
No,
I
it was
wasn't
good.
trying to leave.
No, it was
Oh,
great.
yeah, no.
I'm just wanting to fill in now.
Yeah.
Like everything is perfect. I just want to fill in some things for Connor.
I'm just really concerned about Barry.
Yeah.
Penelope sends you a digital high five when she gets to this, the fusion increase. She's like, "That's good math."
Yeah, well, it was a solid piece. Like, it was a connection between like True Seeker, who like researched and saw the magnetic field that Andine was showing up for
And
it.
of course, I was
and
just
then-
broadcasting it to everybody because that's what I do.
Yeah.
the hard truth.
And so I took the data and crunched it.
Yeah, there is some like solar physicist like buried in your blast of your personality, right? That been like, oh my god, I can make this reaction better. And then as you were rounding around doing a gravitational assist to the sun, right? Those 8 points that were around the sunspot detached because they angled for a specific point. So like the sunspot was rotating this way and they went the opposite side of the sun and used that. So that was the perfect sort of like guide. And by the time it's gonna line up as it is now, they'll be going fast enough that it's like it's not gonna be able to hit them, most likely.
Yeah.
But the 8 points detached and moved around the sun radially, and they through the seismic pieces you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The large spot looked like a giant jellyfish, for lack of a better term. It's like you got this fuzzy view of it, like shadow, because like just looking at the seismic waves in the sun, be able to kind of like extrapolate images. The points that were moving out and away looked sort of like oblate spheroids. And they saw them rise up and leave the surface of the sun and disappear, and they didn't know where they went at that point.
Like they stopped doing the thing that made them look like little sunspots, right?
Well, yeah, they were beneath the surface, and when they left the surface, you couldn't see them anymore. Didn't know where they went. So like
Does that mean
those
they're
are
coming towards us?
that's where Comms 3 was extrapolating some of the data and claimed that they were gonna attack or something along those lines. I forget exactly how you put it, Mark, but this is weeks ago. Don't worry about it. Comms 3 has already moved on to something else.
Yeah, I can almost remember what I said.
It's like we're
But not
gonna
quite.
be boarded. Or
Prepare to be boarded.
Yeah, there you go. And everybody went, what? And that's why you found when you came to a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And like your so I want to describe this for you. Like, you went through the same kind of like shell shock element. Like you got prepared and ready to go in the last few minutes.
Yeah.
But like the waking took several hours at this point, right? But it was very much that like sleeve sickness you've kind of got going on as well. You're a little out of it, but like you also are noticing that like your nerves are on fire. Like you are twitchy in a good way. It's that level of like, like you're hyped up on too much coffee, but everything is focused.
Combat
And
ready.
Yeah, you were just like thrumming and ready to go. Like and
Yeah.
it's helping you adapt in a way that you haven't expected before. But like you went and your immediate thought was, maybe this is combat instincts, was like, okay, I'm really close to the cloning tanks where you came out. There's the 3D printers that are nearby. I'm gonna go like check for supplies, and there was a plethora of weapons available. You chose those batons.
Yeah.
Because like as maybe you gleaned a little bit of information from the person that's there, they're like, there was this call out several hours ago, like we may be boarded, and we started like instantly pumping out, like people like started downloading and self-printing like weapons of various types.
I can incapacitate without killing. Also, not going to punch any holes in any halls, right?
And that was your process, right?
Yeah.
So that brings us up to now.
Sweet.
He's acting a little bit. That sounds pretty good, right? So now there's this question mark. You got a finger inside of you. Thank you. Right. Just this one. Not a full fist yet. Are you making your way back towards these two?
The current plan is to meet in the middle, so I will go to the midpoint and then stop.
Okay.
Penelope tells you to turn around and go back and just draw us a trail, and we can find you just as quickly that way.
You easily send a like GPS toward the map.
Well, we were also so Castor's already on the way.
Yeah.
I literally turned the corner on the way to your last known location, and you are here. So
Yeah.
I mean, at least you're slightly out of the path.
sure,
Which worked out surprisingly
but I mean,
well,
it's still the
almost like a
same
blind
path,
ride.
right? Regardless, like even if you go off, Google Maps is still going to put you back towards the pin that you've dropped.
And I'm just just asking Comms 3 for I want a triangulation pin so that we can get there that much faster.
Got it.
Truth Seeker.
So I just start spraying hormones,
I'm already like,
pheromones all
basically
over
like
the
they kind of get to the area where Penelope like was
Digital.
disappearing, like they turned that corner, and it's like if we were watching it on screen, all of a sudden Truth Seeker's just behind them. Like
I was nearby.
I appear uninvited because I want to know what's happening, and I feel like you guys are like in the shit right now.
You're just sitting there like,
That's fucked up.
Can I
chronicle things.
yeah, that's what
I know, but like I
Do
was
I-
How long
thinking,
will I be in the background?
I was
before you
thinking about like
notice?
the sleeve version of the liquid Terminator, where it's like Truth Seeker, like one body would drop, one sleeve drops, and then you see another sleeve come up somewhere else where Truth Seeker's like, oh, I should be here now.
Do I notice True
necessary.
Seeker right away?
Do you notice?
Yeah.
I don't know. What's your perceive?
40.
Make a roll for it. Truth Seeker, what's your stealth? Out of curiosity.
My infiltrate is
Infiltrate.
45.
Yeah. Well, make a roll. This is an opposed check. I don't know if you're like. I don't think you're being particularly stealthy, but you're just
I have a perceive of 70.
Oh.
Ooh,
Damn
I
it.
failed. Did you fail too?
I failed too. I rolled a 64. I'm a little bit too high strung.
I rolled a 70.
The room is full of ninjas, but
Cool.
none of you can see them.
So yeah, you were painfully aware that Truth Seeker is there. However you want to respond to that. You rolled a 74.
I rolled
64.
a 74.
Oh, 74 and a 64?
Yeah.
You notice Truth Seeker, but it's definitely like a by accident kind of feel,
Right.
and you kick something accidentally. Right, it's a little like, oh, okay, hey.
Clatter, clatter.
Well, and
clatter.
Penelope is right now is high strung enough to like turn around ready to punch and then sees that it's you and like steps off.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like that there's actually like the baton is like in your face, like ready to smash, and you're just like it barely like stopped, right?
Yeah.
Kind of just like
Yeah.
on edge.
Well, it would have been.
Like it's swinging out, like you stopped it, but it's like swinging out. Like you didn't commit fully to the swing, but it definitely was like the arc was happening. Like your
Yeah.
reflexes before you even realized it. Like they're
And it wouldn't have been baton out. It would have been baton against arm.
okay, yeah, whatever that. But either way, it's like close. You were like in striking and you stopped
Yeah.
Oh, so
Whatever
these are tonfas.
Yeah.
And so they can,
Yeah.
they're nightsticks.
I like
I really like watching people fight with those.
They are good
Yeah.
weapons.
Well, they're
I-
defensive and offensive.
Yeah.
Right, I like it.
I've trained with them.
Nerds!
They're really fun.
Yeah.
They're really effective against swords.
Yeah. And again, you can
Did-
incapacitate people
Did
without
this happen
killing them.
behind us or to the side? Where did this happen?
I mean, this is you're 2 feet from this. This
Yeah.
is like
Great.
this is right there. Like y'all are there, and you start like turning off, and then suddenly like Truth Seeker's behind you,
Right.
and you've got Penelope wheeling around, freaking out, and
Penelope looks at you and is like, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit hyper. I'm not used to this body yet. It's really tightly wired.
Castor just looks at Penelope and goes, it doesn't matter because truth seekers should be truthful about their presence. While other
Did
people...
I lie?
You could have
Of omission.
Must I announce myself whenever
Yes.
I appear?
Yeah.
Well, fine. I'm
actually.
going to do it obnoxiously, and you're not going to like it.
Do you ever do anything not obnoxiously?
I am slightly offended right now.
Yes.
Do you want to be really offended?
You see my gloves harden.
Hot.
Everybody's a little amped up. Thunderdome.
But I don't move.
This
My
is what
gloves
I like
just
to see.
harden.
Yeah.
Like my
Truth
arms are
se-
crossed.
Well, we already saw like two Thunderdome, two Truth Seeker enter, one Truth Seeker leave. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
Who run
Cool.
Barter Town?
Oh, that's what Comms 3 would be.
Yeah. Oh.
It would get on top of a bigger robot and be like, who'll run Barter
Do
Town?
the Master Blaster thing.
You guys are adorable. I love it.
Maybe later.
Maybe. Yeah.
Let's go find Comms 3. Truthy, are you coming?
Yes, I must chronicle the truth.
Just
The truth is,
do it without speaking for a little bit.
I will seek instead.
Everyone is so punchy. I love it.
It's aggressive. I love it. It's happening. All right.
Well, a lot of shit's going down on this ship.
So at this point, like with some pretty clear, like I would say there's one moment where Comms 3 has tried to route you through a maintenance like shoot. But you quickly this is just flavor. Like, but you very very quickly are like you're like okay yeah you're right, sorry. Like they could fit through it, it's fine. True Seeker said it before too, but you're like they realize like hey, it's more efficient to go this route. That's all. Just little flavor moments.
well, okay. So at first, I just followed the instruction, which was leave a trail of breadcrumbs where I go, and then after a while, I realized like they probably don't want to go through this like tunnel.
No, Penelope would have been like, sorry, I wasn't more specific. I'm not crawling through anything right now. Give us a route that we can walk upright.
Right, and then I just sculpt a new route.
Yeah.
That I don't actually follow, but I say go this way. I'll go this way.
Yeah, we just need to all meet in the same spot
Right.
eventually, and I would like my finger back when we get there.
What are
Give
you
you the
going to
finger.
put it onto?
Yeah. I'll give you the
I'm
finger.
gonna access whatever little data we can get out of it.
Questionable. So those of you in meat suits, make me an athletics roll.
Oh,
Castor, what is your athletics?
30.
Cool. Get a plus 30 to this roll.
Okay.
I'll tell you in a second why.
Ooh.
51.
Perfect. That worked great for you. You should be good.
Mine's 40 and I rolled a 36.
Mine's 50 and I rolled a 26.
Nice.
Yeah.
So cool. You actually did surprisingly well. For you. So you hear like fractions of a second beforehand something happening. Charlie pipe into your earpiece and go.
Of course
like,
I do.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, brace for acceleration. What? And the rear engines kick back on as they've like successfully drawn back in the Elon, and like we've kicked back on power. So like basically suddenly your gravitational center, right, which like I said has been off at a weird angle for a while, and you just got used to this. You're like, oh, this is how it is now. Suddenly like reorients more towards the back of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot. I mean, the rotational spin where you are is the primary gravitational influence. Gravity in giant quotation marks. But that additional piece like changes the vector. All of a sudden, like up to you is slightly different. And so like for you did really well. Like you kind of, I would say, you're in this weird zone of just chronicling right now, and you are aware of environmental influences. Like you were like tracking all of it, and so you see like intuitively before anything else like the data shifting as you kind of like are aware of traffic that's happening in like different feeds that you're monitoring and what's happening right now. And so you kind of like have like without even thinking about it, like stick your foot off to the side and kind of like prep for it. And then I would say Penelope, you're a little taken by surprise, but like you just like stumble for a half second of like you catch yourself, and it's like your combat instincts like immediately kick in, and you had like clear warning and you were ready to go. But it was like moments, but not enough for you to say anything, but for you to like like grab onto a thing, just one extra little brace. It wasn't the most jarring. It was worse when you captured the thing to begin with, but it definitely was a bit of a shock.
No, but it was enough for me to be like, Charlie.
Well, sorry.
ship-wide warning next
Wait, so
time?
did we just pull the little ship in? Is that what happened? The mining ship?
They successfully pulled it in,
Mhm.
and have turned back on the main reactors to kind of like turn in terms of like main thrust.
I just remembered the reason that we decided to
Very.
pull the ship in. Like the main reason was because we have no weapons on our ship, and if we're about to get attacked, we don't have the materials to build anything. And we were like, maybe we could like strip this mining equipment and make ourselves something that can help us.
You discovered, or Charlie mentioned earlier,
Mhm.
that there's actually like kilotons of material now that like he's gotten a reading on it. Like once you captured it, like
Right.
there's a lot of like titanium and other heavy metals.
Is there enough?
This is like long game. This is like adding weapons to the polish.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, and
Yeah.
I'm like, are we going to build projectile weapons?
leave it up to you guys.
PDCs all over
We
this
need
place.
something quickly in the short term if we are actually going to get boarded
Railguns.
or attacked.
I mean, Penelope's like a railgun's going to be the fastest,
Mm-hmm.
and we can slam that together real quick.
I'm down.
Like your definition
Does
real quick.
does
Sure.
terrible
together.
damage to pressurized vessels.
Just terrible damage to everything.
Y'all are cute. So
I mean, real quick, I'm like maybe 2 weeks.
No, we don't
yeah,
have
okay,
2
good.
weeks.
I was gonna say, yeah, this is not a quick thing. That's major.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so I need, sorry, because I'm Will, things happen, to go take care of something biologically really fast. But you all come back together. So like it takes about from where you were, it takes about an hour to make it to Comms 3 along their path, right? Because Comms 3 is very quick to get there, but needs to take a while. You have to reroute them through different zones. You've adapted to gravity and whatnot. So I'm gonna say like spend a minute or two reequating and saying hey, and welcome back and whatnot, and then I'm gonna hit the bathroom. Sorry.
Jesus.
I know.
It's like you have a bladder or
Speaking of
something.
biological needs.
That's why I bring it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what are we supposed to do? What's our homework?
Hang out and chat
Oh.
like the friends that we are.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I promise we won't talk about cheese.
I can't make that fucking promise. I'm so sorry. Not really.
It's the cheesy
Sorry,
table.
not sorry.
Cheesy. Yeah, there's a lot of cheese people. I'm supposed to tell you hi from like 4 or 5 people at Grant Park, and I don't fucking remember who. So
Okay,
Grand
great.
Park says hi.
Can anybody? Can you just tell everybody that I say hi and just be?
Yeah.
And when they're like, I don't know who the fuck Evie is, you're like, great. They say hi. It's fine.
yeah, no.
I
Anytime
would
people
imagine
will
it
ask
was,
about
like,
you, I'm like,
Heather, or not. I'm sorry. Harmony. She just reminds me of a friend I used to have named Heather.
Yeah.
Harmony. Jamie.
Jamie definitely asked about you, and I was like, yeah, Abby's doing fine, but I haven't seen them in a week or 4.
Is Lucas still there?
Yes.
You guys, the teachers come
No.
back. They're telling we're working. And then it all got quiet.
That's what happens.
What did you do?
So cute.
Nothing.
We were talking about people at Grant Park saying hi to Abby, and I have no clue who fucking said it. So I was like,
But it's
You're saying it's a
on.
character,
It's
though.
been recorded. It's for prosperity.
Okay, that's great. Here's something that's even sweeter for prosperity.
Whiskey.
oh yeah.
Whiskey.
I guess we were supposed to be reacquainting in character too.
Yeah, rude. That's fine. It's all the same.
More or less.
Yeah.
Just less cheese.
Less cheese, less work talkie.
Yeah,
Sorry
yes,
about the
me-
work talkie.
So when we
Meat
get
sushi?
together in character, like True Seeker just like pulls out a little brie and just starts cutting it up and passing it out and is like, so calm. Oh, I forgot I can't eat, but we missed you.
Right. Right.
This is the last
Castor
brie
has
that
a-
was ever made on Earth.
Has a sack of
Oh
nuts.
my god, that's a terrifying.
truffled nuts.
Oh. It's just like, hi, welcome back. Here's a charcuterie treat.
Now that we're together,
Penelope's
more
just
pocket
like-
sausage.
Where are you pulling all this food out of? And I don't think I can eat yet.
Well,
No.
more
you
from
feel,
me.
You feel uncomfortable.
And then True Seeker
Yeah.
tells you this is the last brie from Earth, and you're just like, why?
I'm not convinced that Penelope would actually enjoy eating. They don't seem like the type.
What does that mean?
Like how Pearl doesn't eat, but Amethyst does.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, Penelope like would have grown up around good, nice food.
Right.
Yeah, but all this is not
But like
good.
you eat like that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't
my
want
pocket brie is great.
Not too much.
It's real warm.
It's real warm.
No,
Whoa.
Penelope just.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's okay.
It's okay.
I'm like, why are you giving Penelope an eating disorder?
that's not what I meant.
I gotta say, like, so here's the thing that Penelope is feeling really weird about. It's like a strange cognitive dissonance, because the way you've described it to me, and Penelope has described it, that they have strong feels about Truth Seeker in relation to Truth Seeker, that are perhaps less than.
Do I not know this?
It's the truth. They're not subtle. Have you met Penelope?
Also, you're ratcheted
is
up
it
right
like
now.
is it like predisposed like before we go
Can
to
I
the
roll
ship?
for deceiving Truth Seeker on how I actually feel about them?
Sure, go for it. Truth Seeker roll something that's a version of
Oh,
it.
I might-
how did I fail that?
I guess
My
what I
deceit
meant
is
was
so
it like
high.
a pre getting on the ship? Did you already hate me? Like,
No.
because I was like kind of like an icon or whatever. That's like my background. No big
Glad
deal.
You said that.
I have
Penelope
seekers.
just thought that you were a demagogue and completely useless in terms of media outlets.
Whoa.
What am I rolling?
I rolled an 81 on my
Perceive?
deceive,
Is it perceived?
Perceive.
so I failed at deceive.
Oh, I guess I'm perceiving if you like me, right? My perceive is 80.
Hold on
I
a
don't
second.
like you.
I am not entirely sure it's perceived, but I'm not sure what it would be otherwise.
I think
I
it's
could research your face.
No.
perceive and
Well, they're both
no,
80.
it's deceiving kinesics that are opposing.
Yeah, there it is. I was like, I didn't think it was
So you
that.
deceive and I can knees?
Yeah,
What did you
Good.
get for deceive?
81.
Yeah. Kinesics is art of empathy and nonverbal. So, yeah.
Yeah,
but you also failed yours. You failed.
I failed my deceive,
Yeah.
That
but
friend is my third 80. I got a 27.
Okay.
I know you don't like me.
You were well aware.
the Penelope thinks
You feel
that
it strongly.
you were utter trash.
And you see Penelope doing the, like, you've been introduced to this before, but like the upper echelon of society kind of like, it's like the turn of phrase. Like Penelope speaks to you in like very clear, educated, like crisp, and it's like witty repartee that is like, I don't like you, but it is not, it is maybe like, you know, it's not direct, it's kind of subtle, but you're just picking up on all the cues, like, you know, and so like for you, it's like, you have, to some people, like, you'll burn them real hard.
Yeah.
At least for True Seeker, you're kind of doing like a, okay, you know, I'm gonna say some really sharp shit to you, but I'm not being real obvious about it, but it's kicking in pretty clear for them,
Yeah.
so they know.
I think
I
you're
show up
trash, but I'm
unannounced.
not going to tell you that you're trash.
You know you're trash.
I know I'm not.
Whoa!
It's the truth.
Yeah.
You see why you're scum.
Oh, sad.
I'm one of the next thing.
Did we get to the room with the finger where my finger was?
The port.
Oh, well, hold on. So why this came up to begin with is you're having a weird level of cognitive dissonance because you
Yeah.
feel this way about True Seeker, but your meat suit feels like Truth Seeker is part of the pack, and you have this weird like, you know, it's like it's like a strange, like, I don't, part of
You're
you
an asshole, but you're our
intellectually does not like Truth Seeker.
Yeah, no.
Emotionally,
you're my asshole.
you feel like they are part of the fam and they need to be protected. They are like, you know, you feel invigorated. Like, it is that weird pack mentality that is triggering hard being next to True Seeker right now. So you just leaving that out there, it's a weird dissonance.
It goes with the sleeve I picked. So,
Yeah, like you feel like there are those moments where like you find yourself doing like muscle memory kind of things, like, you know, like a level of like, I don't want to call it flirting, right? But a sense of like, you know, positioning yourself in particular ways that is like guarding or is like protective or is like you're aware of them in ways that you wouldn't be normally.
It's like physical familiarity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like it doesn't have to
You're
be
protective a
So-
bit.
relationshipy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's fair. Thank you. I was looking for a way to say that.
Am I doing the same thing with Caster?
Everybody, yeah. Anybody in this room right now. No. But like it is that like your pack is this crew. And I'd say like yeah, that's it for now.
Yeah. Does comms fit into that? Because okay.
Yep, comm. You've had enough interaction with comms. That is
Even
like
the weird spider robot with your finger in his stomach.
You don't have a stomach robot.
Then how did it swallow your finger?
It's called a storage compartment, and it
didn't
just
swallow
pulled
it.
out of the
what do you
data
call your
port.
stomach? It's
I'm
a storage
just sharing
compartment for food.
Comms 3's truth with you, Penelope. If they swallowed it, they swallowed it.
Penelope really wishes that she had a big old slug of scotch.
Okay, but oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that was in Penelope's head.
Truth Seeker's kind of fucking with you.
Oh, it's well apparent. I love it. And
Yeah.
I'm
Which
so-
is why Penelope wants a big old flask of scotch.
All right,
Big ol'
so you've all reconvened.
Yeah.
What's the plan?
I would like to access the data port in this room and see if there's anything about the pressure fluctuations that hasn't been recorded elsewhere that Comms 3 didn't pick up on.
And I am going to scout out in one direction and then the other to try to look for any more parts of your arm.
Cool.
Or
Scan for
your body.
Also, while you're doing that, can you scan for hull breaches or repaired breaches? Because
I can tap into ship systems. I don't know if I have those kinds of sensor arrays on me, but
Not in particular,
but
small scale, local. You can pick up organic compounds. You can scan different parts of the electromagnetic frequency. But yeah, in terms of you're
and of
not
course
really
I can tell pressure. If there's a pressure change, I'm sure
yeah,
I would
and
easily.
I figure that you would
have
be tapping
environmental readouts.
into ship systems for
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because our repair bots for a hull breach are going to be automatic, right?
I'm going to say that there is
Oh.
you are aware. You are aware of the call outs from the ship in terms of the locations where like these pressure changes were. They're just identified as such as pressure changes. You are aware that there have been some maintenance crews dispatched to these regions that are still making their way to, for the most part, like, or at least like the ticket has been like acknowledged and on the way is all you see.
Okay, when you say maintenance crews, do you mean biologicals? How about maintenance bots? Are they still offline because I mess with them so much, or
Yeah, that's where they're at right
so
now.
they're mine? Oh, they're there.
They're not yours.
Well,
but,
I mean, the ones
Gave him
that
a
I
virus.
well, okay, because the ones that I took over, we never established that I let them go.
You did because it was a thing you had to maintain concentration spells.
Exactly.
if you will.
Right.
Well, you have a limited, like, you're not an infinite body right now.
Fair enough. I'm just saying that we never said it, so I'm leaving that
Valid question.
open. But I'm wondering if I can patch into the sensor array of various of these bots. Can I look at things through their eyes? Or other cameras? Can I take a look? I want to look at these areas where get a visual look at them.
Roll interface for me.
Ooh, no. I got a 95.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You are awkwardly like you feel like this would be a thing that would be easy for you. But for some reason you were having difficulty getting into those systems, and you were unsure why.
Okay, then I'm just going to keep physically scouting.
Yeah. So you're on patrol at the moment. That's kind of how I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can I interface with this terminal knowing that it was me before and I know my own tricks? Can I dig out more data about what was going on and if there was a pressure flux in this room or if it was like in a room previous?
I'm sorry, I meant to just right off give you your finger, the minute that I saw you.
Tom
I
3
would've
is
given
giving you the finger.
I
That's
gave
to be
you
really
the
clear.
It just slides into a utility pocket because Penelope looks at it and
Is that what we're calling it? Hate and love everybody.
Moist
in this room.
spiders.
Oh,
Moist utility packets.
I like how I don't have to say anything. It's just my reactions. It's just
so,
Penelope is
Oh, I was
wearing
looking at moist
clothing.
utility.
yeah. If you met us, we're just kidding.
Yeah.
Quick side joke. I was teaching class today, and I was asking about Callisto, for review because that's what we're doing in class today. I was talking about Callisto, and like one of the students, I was like, "Yeah, tell me something interesting about Callisto," and they said something, and what I heard was, and I said to the group of like 50 people in the planetarium, was like, "Did you just say giant ice spiders?" And I'm like, like terrified. I can feel other people in the room like cringing and kind of giggling. He's like, no, spires, giant ice spires. I'm like, oh, that is accurate. There are definitely giant ice spires on Callisto. I'm sorry I heard spider. I now have a terrifying image.
Right.
We'll nuke it from orbit. At any rate, it's good fun aside. So
yeah, 'cause when Comms 3 gives me the piece of my finger back, I'm definitely like, cool, this is literally just the data port. There's no like memory storage attached to it. We have to find
that
the rest of
answers
it.
my question.
unfortunately, yeah, it's fingers are not a wise place to put storage. I mean, that's just the idea of it.
Yeah.
Right?
But so I still want to access this terminal. Can I have a plus to my interface because I know my own tricks?
Not to your interface. Just because this is just you getting into the system.
Yeah.
So that's fine. What is your interface?
50.
Yeah.
Fuck my life. I'm just I rolled
Use
a
one of your
79.
points.
It's not good.
Oh.
If you flip those, it'd be a 97.
That's true.
Also
You
still bad.
have to add
also
20 ahead of time, right?
I cannot flip things.
Right, that's part of
I
their
have bad
one
luck.
of their.
That's right.
I have bad luck right now, too.
Your bad luck is different. It is
Mine's a heightened bad luck, right?
it's different. It's not from bad luck, but it is from I'll call it hyper truth.
Yeah, because I got 3 composure, and then I also bad luck was the negative side of it.
All right, Mark, you look confused. The idea being was normally with flex you can flip rolls right from the dice pool, but True Seeker can only tell truth and can only the way the dice lie.
And
so hyper truth.
Because Penelope is super like well raised and well bred. Oh, I hate that term. She's very composed and like also has bad luck. She's not gonna mannered. Yes.
Yeah,
well,
sure.
You have
That's a
good
good way to put it. Okay, so here's how I want to see this. So you are like interfacing with this would be normally easy for you. That was not a terribly bad roll, but it's taken you a while. Like you're gonna have to go back at it again.
Yeah.
You're not used to how Sigourney Weaver's fingers feel. And additionally, you're also not used to having a second biological hand. I know it's not radically different, like it's, but it is a level of you've been. So it's like how do I put it this way?
I'm not used to interfacing with a computer digitally fingers.
Yeah, with digits.
Yeah,
I like that.
I'm used to actually like plugging in and interfacing that way.
Exactly. Like it's a weird level of like if you watch.
I don't have the equipment to use that.
If I didn't, Nicole. If I compare it to like Penelope Mark 1, right? This was like plug in and it is like elegant motions and you like connecting with it on a different interface level. And now this is the level of like Penelope, like all of you are watching Penelope was like normally like smooth and amazing and they're kind of just like the equivalent of like single finger typing. Like which
on a touch screen.
Yeah, like
and you're like, what the fuck?
I'm picturing kind of like a barbarian's day at the office.
Yeah.
It's multiple windows on a touch screen and you're like
my head just kind of peeks over your shoulder and I'm like, do you need a hand?
Too soon. Too soon.
Oh. Penelope doesn't even react. Oh no.
I feel like it didn't land. Everyone was like, oh.
I got it and I was like, how would Penelope react? I was laughing instead.
Connor laughs, Penelope angry.
No, Penelope doesn't react because she's super pissed that she's having to do it this way. She's like, if I shoot you a program, can you dig through this data faster than I can?
Yes, I can.
All right.
Let's not lie to each other.
So
here's the thing. You're just trying to get it, like, the terminal itself is giving you issues. You're not even trying to, like, hack it yet and get through your own protocols.
Yeah.
So this was an issue.
Yeah. But I can give my protocols to True Seeker, and True Seeker can interface faster and better.
This is a really beautiful pack moment. Y'all are coming together.
No, this is using resources.
Angry pack.
Yeah, that's what a pack is.
What's your interface?
My interface is only 30. My research is 80. I can research stuff faster than you. I can't interface faster than you.
Burn. None of those are helpful right now.
Yeah.
Their interface is better than yours.
Yeah.
I have a decent.
Comms 3 roll and proceed.
What's your interface?
45.
I'm still better.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
So
15.
Okay, I'm gonna hold on to that for a second. I'll get back to you.
I'm just gonna shoot
Shoot everybody.
yeah. Shoot everybody.
And game over.
Sigourney Penelope is out of here.
Yeah.
TPK, fuck this shit. There's an alien coming.
Everybody wakes up.
Fly us into the sun.
I'm jumping into a life pod, and hopefully somebody other than the Stroma will pick me up.
You're gonna go hang out with the big burly dudes on Prometheus.
Yes. Can I send everybody my protocols so that, like, between the four of us, we could, like, get into this terminal and find out what Penelope was looking at, what I was looking at? It's weird talking about myself.
Isn't it though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be tantamount to an aid.
Yeah, okay.
So who probably you has the best interface.
3.
Oh, hell yeah.
80.
Yeah.
So now you got a 90. Don't fail at this.
Oh, you good. It's a crit. A crit.
It's an 11.
Yeah. Crit doesn't do. Yeah. I'm gonna say that you kind of actually, because of the crit, you managed to, like, with your speed, build a interface that is like using like holographic output from the computer itself and the hallway and where you're in, and even some of your own. Like, you kind of build something for Penelope to use, actually, in an interesting way. Like, from you're creating a little bit of a light display, like, oh yeah, I've just like hacked in and I made this thing for you. Like, it's a really, like, just use this. And so, like, that's the crit, is like you creating this new cool piece. And
It's like I did a little origami and just...
Yeah, a little bit. And so,
Yeah.
like, now it is, like, it is
Thanks,
easily
Runner.
accessible for Penelope, like, almost
It
like
feels really familiar
it
again.
feels familiar again.
I can...
Because Comms 3 has watched you, Comms 3 has, like, seen the ways and has, like, emulated that sense and created a UI for you specifically
Nice.
with that.
Catered.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Also, definitely gonna rewrite all of my protocols tonight.
Yeah, it's like, I shared it with the pack.
Yeah.
With the pack.
Yeah, no,
Leader of the pack.
you can all have the new protocols, but
I'll be
they're
in my
the old
bunker running my
protocols.
protocols.
But I'm keeping the new ones for me. So
Pretty
would I
awesome.
roll interface again?
InfoSec.
InfoSec.
Mm-hmm.
And why information security?
Because you are hacking into your own firewalls of things that you kind of, in terms of, like, your own trail. But what is your score for it?
My InfoSec is shit. It's 20.
Add 20 to it.
yeah, it's not
No,
bad.
because I...
Mine is good.
So I will allow you to, and this won't be an aid, but I will allow you, if you share some of your, like, real deep secrets with Comms 3, like, allow Comms 3 to hack through it, because they've got better InfoSec.
Yeah, Penelope knows when she's like, here's the key, and, like,
Cool.
pulls it up out of her file and shoots it over to you.
And it's not, it most likely isn't a current key, because knowing Penelope, they would be shifting things constantly. But,
It's
like,
the-
but as of 6 days ago, right?
Yeah.
So
It's the most current key that I have, and they morph in a very specific way. So
Yeah,
if it doesn't work, we can...
I was gonna
get
say, like,
through
there's like, left to anybody's own devices, it would be what appears to be a fractal, complex, chaotic system. To Penelope, it is okay. I have narrowed down infinity into this subset of infinity that should be easier for you to figure out. So I'm not gonna say this is not an aid, but this is just a straight InfoSec roll to allow you to kind of get into Penelope's stuff again.
Alright.
I know, right?
gonna
now that you
get-
no longer have
Now
Penelope's
that I
finger
have the
inside you.
key, I'm going to get up in your stuff.
Ugh.
Does that mean you're Rick Moranis?
Yeah, pretty much.
No.
Guess what? I blew it.
Oh, what was it?
97.
Jeez.
Can you flip it with the flex?
Yeah, you have flex.
Oh yeah, I
have
can.
flex.
I can totally flip
So
it.
79.
I'm gonna
And
guess
it looks
I'll
like
use
it's
the
80.
points.
80. Yeah, I'll do that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
It's a really
do that.
good success.
That's a good
too.
use of flex.
Oh,
Especially
my
because I
God.
want to progress the plot. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not here to get in your way.
no, I would have found ways. It's just I really like this as an image because I've been building it in my mind for a while.
Yeah. We need data. We need to know what's going on.
So
Why are there aliens on our ship?
I'm going to say that what you access at this point is a different image. You've got sort of this weird combination. Before you were looking through like the pinhole camera from the monitor itself, right? Like from the station. But now you're kind of connecting into a few of the hallway feeds.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that anyway.
Mm-hmm. I mean, those were inaccessible to you before, like,
Right.
for whatever reason. Like it seemed kind of odd. So you see the same image before of Penelope at the station, and I presume you're displaying this for everybody.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
From multiple
Everybody.
angles.
Yeah,
Now.
yeah, exactly. Like I would say, I'm gonna because of your crit earlier
I thought
and
you
the way you've been doing this sort of holographic piece, I would say everybody actually sees this as sort of like an overlay in reality.
Am I going to watch myself die?
So
I just respond hot all the time, or people can get.
So you all see Penelope at the interface, and the sequence that I described before, right, where like the lights was flickering, Penelope looked around, nothing happened. There was like a pretty heavy jarring kind of like impact, which you saw the timestamp of the like it was you picking up the Elon. And then like a few minutes later, that same like time or the same flicker of light. And Penelope looks up, and now you're all like watching from this perspective, right? But the data continues on. And what you see is Penelope kind of like looking over down the hall off to their left, right? Like, so you're kind of looking up towards the T-junction, which like right now, like you were just patrolling that way a second ago. And you're all imagining like standing around this kind of watching a little bit. And it's kind of spooky because you're not also hearing any audio from this. This is just video, right? And there's a moment where you see like Penelope kind of like shake their head a little bit and look off in the distance, and it like seem kind of shocked, but then kind of relaxes a little bit, and goes back to the terminal. And then you see like very quickly, Penelope is like jacked into the terminal and is like working. You see Penelope like react as if they were being like grabbed by something. You don't see anything. You just see Penelope. And you see them like reaching for the terminal. You recognize yourself like, and this is spooky as fuck for you, seeing yourself like trying to do particular hand signs, like reaching out for help. You were trying to like in the data, like you were trying to like connect, you're trying to like, call for communication. It seems like it's ineffective. You were seeing yourself like trying to leave like, bits of information. And what you see is that you managed to leave this information that like, at least this is has survived, like this element, these images, as you were literally like ripped away from the terminal. And it looks, like forcibly. Something is like...
It looks like something's like pulling her away
looks
from
like
her while
something's
she's trying to stay.
pulling her away from it, like she's trying to stay, and is like dragged off camera.
And we can see that it's not that we can't see who's there. We see that no one is visibly there. Like an unseen force is pulling.
It looks like an unseen force is pulling.
Is
Is
it
there
a...
other
How
ways
does
to look
it
at this
rip
image?
the finger off?
Like,
Because
do we
when
have-
you put it in, that's a simple insert, and it doesn't lock around it, does it? So does she forcibly
it is from an angle that your impression is normally you have to like pull your finger out and go, but it's like it was such a like sudden and jarring, and Penelope is trying to like hold on and get what last information. They are like ripped off this way. And,
I was contemplating whether or not she was like this and like just
broke her own finger
Yeah.
off.
No, I was going in the same direction as it was the wrong angle for Penelope to disconnect.
Fair enough.
It just got ripped off. And back to what you were saying.
This is like True Seeker Out Loud would be like, is there different ways to look at this image? Because it looks like there's something in the room with her. With you.
Can you display this in different visual spectra?
Is there a way to like look
or
at it
non
like an
or
infrared
non-visible
or?
spectrum.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I meant, and non
Mhm.
like UV,
Yeah.
infrared, X-ray.
Roll interface.
Can
I'm gonna give you a +10 because of the cool system that like your crit earlier basically is. This is represented by
Alright.
that.
Watch me blow it.
It's
Don't-
entirely possible.
Nope. 76.
There's no means you did not blow it. Shows no.
76
blow it.
out of 90.
Cool. So I'm gonna say like you're sitting there watching this, and it is you're watching like the visible output, and you see. Let me give you like a visual of this. Give me a second. You see kind of like a screen swipe happen every once in a while as comms 3 is kind of relaying like, okay, we're at this wavelength, we are at 10,000 angstroms, 5,000 angstroms, like it is like scanning through different pieces, right? So translating it out to like gamma rays, it kind of looks like black. You're not really seeing a whole lot. Like as it's like scanning downwards into like X-rays, you see like little blips of weird things here or there. What you kind of recognize is actually like, oh, this is probably weird cosmic effects outside the ship that are coming through. And you're like, okay, well, that's not helpful right now. There's just a lot of noise happening.
So fascinating.
Yeah, still really like, oh, this is really intriguing. Ultraviolet, practically black. You go through visible, you see the regular spectrum. You kind of see like a whole range of different colors and things, like contrasts play out. You dip into infrared and you see Penelope's like heat signatures in different parts from like bulkheads. You drop down through like microwave output and again see like weird kind of reflections off of pieces and bulkheads. And as it starts dipping low enough and you see like you start talking about the output, those of you that would know, it's dropping into like the radio wave sort of spectrum, and you see a very blurry image because on that wavelength it's not very clear. Your resolution is hot garbage. You kind of see like almost a darker region where Penelope is because like it's just there's a little bit of an interplay happening with you. Like it's very vague, but there is this like distinct image of something else that is there, like that is scattering those radio waves, that like you see what looks like a tentacle wrap around like the waist of Penelope, like, and just drag off camera, right?
Fuck. Radio visible
And
squids.
that's where we're gonna end for tonight.
With radio visible squids.
Totes.
Totes. And go from there. Thank you very much. I just wanted to leave the pause there for a moment. Like, oh, I'm really uncomfortable.
I'm scared.
You should be.
I mean, it already happened.
Welcome to the Trappist Transfer. Oh, wait, that's the hello? Oh.
Aw.
I don't know if you already
Womp
switched
womp.
it out, Bill, but I switched it out earlier again, too, because I was trying to be awesome on it.
Hello, goodbye.
Anyway, the hellos and goodbyes. We like to be scripted the best we can. Thank you for joining us for the Trappist Transfer and all of our existential sci-fi horror that we were trying to go through. It is an Eclipse Phase homebrew that we have all created here together by Critical Misfits Entertainment. You may find us on YouTube as well as wherever you get your audio podcasts. iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Pod Addict. There's so many out there. Any that works for you. And be sure to subscribe and rate us wherever you listen. If you like what you've heard, be sure to check out our other show, the Terra Centra series, next Thursday on Twitch, as well as on YouTube and iTunes. Next Thursday, Ashley will be taking over for that. And I'm so excited.
And Shannon will be back, and Bill will be a player.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
It's gonna be so much madness fun.
my
I'm
God.
so stoked.
Thank you to our
Let's go take a
viewers. Thank you to our patrons on
I thought we
Patreon.
were going to.
Thank you to all of you at the table and Bill in the closet. Have a good night.